What's up, Dace Tackler Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Dace Man Show. I am your host, Chris, the Dace Man Dace, and joining me as always, Gibby.
Thank you very much.
Why didn't that pick you up?
Thank you.
Okay, that picked you up.
Hey, some of us are quiet, some of us are not.
Well, now you picked it up. I don't know why it didn't pick up. It didn't light up when you first said it.
I don't know. It's all good.
Well, we got an exciting show for you today, and that, of course, as always, is a lie.
Nothing.
There's no gaming news. Gamescom is starting this Thursday, so I'm imagining next Tuesday we'll have a lot of games news. But
I think it's just going to be a lot of rehashing the same shit because they're all releasing out in dribs and drabs with their own thing, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm just fearful that the news coming out of there is going to be bad news of things getting pushed back.
Well, I think, and maybe God, I wish I had the source, but I saw that the PS5 is not being delayed.
I think it got pushed back it's still in October. It was supposed to be the beginning of October. Now I think it's like mid to end October. It's still supposed to come out before the Xbox, because Xbox isn't supposed to come out till November.
Because they did release Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Clank gameplay and trailer will be released Thursday at Gamescom, which... You know how we always say that Microsoft has Halo as their franchise release? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking Ratchet and Clank has been the PlayStation, hey, we're releasing something. Because the last time I saw a Ratchet and Clank game, it was when the PS4 came out. It just flies under the radar because we don't play it.
Yeah, maybe. I was going to say, I don't remember when the last one came out, but it probably was at the very beginning.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
It comes the movie.
Yeah. I was trying to remember, because it wasn't... Obviously, Star Wars is what got me to come over. Also, I don't think that was a game day release, right? That was about a year later. A year later, yeah.
Because I picked it up about 6 months after release when Infamous Second City or Second Son came out.
Well, I got the exclusive. Yeah, I got the exclusive. I got the Darth Vader one, which I think looks really neat. But that's just me.
I want to get a Spider-Man one.
That's right.
As long as it comes with the disc option. If not, I guess I'm not getting the Spider-Man one.
Yeah, I don't. I was talking with was it Kerbin on that, and or no, it was Anthony at softball, and I was like, yeah, I don't think if you get the one that doesn't have the disc drive, I don't know how you can get all your PS4 games on there. Unless you
downloaded it, it would be synced to your PS Plus account, right?
Well, I don't know. Because the problem is even when you have the PS Plus, you can download it online, right, and then play it. Mm-hmm. But then if you have that disc, you need to insert it. The disc has to be in. So I don't know.
I'd be screwed. I'd have to rebuy the game in theory.
So that's the first thing. Second thing, I'd be shocked if it comes over with all the things already pre-purchased on your. Because when you went from 3 to 4. They weren't connected. You know what I mean? Sure, you had the same username, login, and all that, but they were two different fucking worlds because they didn't want you to bring your other shit over. They want you to rebuy everything.
How out of curiosity, what do you remember what the specs were for the memory on the release?
870.
So what? 870?
Yeah, it's less than 1 terabyte. It's garbage.
I have 4 terabytes of game data. I had to go buy an 8 terabyte thing for the PS4.
Yep. And which is the thing I don't.
So if I had bought those all digitally and I'm able to play them on the PS5, I'm fucked out the get-go. I can bring over 2 Call of Duties and be called a day.
Which is one of the biggest complaints about it, because even Xbox has the same issue. Because the Xbox at least gives you 1 terabyte, PlayStation is 870. I guess the other 200
system
is
shit.
Fucking system shit, which is mind blowing if that's the case. But yeah, it really doesn't give you much, and I don't know how they're going to interface with hard drives or externals.
I'm hoping they have the same option the PS4 had, because that's the one shit thing about the PS3. Because you're down the basement. Anyone who's I don't know if we've ever gotten that wall on camera, but I've got at least 100 games for PS3. Yeah. I can't play because you can't extend the PS3 hard drive like you can the PS4. We just plug in a USB thing and you're good to go.
Correct.
Which is a pain in the ass, because there's a lot of good games on PS3 that never got HD remaked or ported over.
Yep, unfortunately, yeah. And I don't know how, is the external you have right now, is it even going to be compatible, is the next big question.
Because that 8 terabyte one was $160. I plugged it into the wall. That thing will be forever mounted down here. That's no longer the traveling PS4 because power outages, it's a bitch to reboot because it has to go back and repair all 5 terabytes of shit.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know how I don't know how it's gonna work.
It's interesting.
The only good thing though is if it has the USB-Cs, which again I don't know if yours has USB-C or not. That's a 3.0, so it's gonna be a lot quicker.
Well, I have the converters. Remember, Kerbin sent us that. Kerbin's making a lot of appearances on the show
right.
tonight. Conversation. A lot of it was he sent us those adapters.
Yeah, but the problem is you're still, if that cord is only USB 2.0, even though it has a 3.0, it's still going to be a slower speed.
Well, that sucks. But there's a little bit of gaming news, and the first one I'm going to talk about because I'm going to save the best for last because I was super excited when I saw it and I can't wait to talk about it. But the first bit of news we're going to talk about is DC fandom was this past weekend. We'll talk more about the movies and the comics and stuff like that a little bit later. But they released the first trailer of the Gollum game.
Gollum.
So you get to play as Gollum, and it's canon from what I've been told, or at least from what I've seen. Nobody told me shit. I looked it up on my own. And it's a stealth game. So you don't get weapons, but you can make the environment hurt things around you to protect you.
Yep.
And the interesting thing is, since it's canon, and I think it's before the events of Lord of the Rings, so it's after the events of Hobbit, but before Lord of the Rings, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be curious which characters show up. Will we get, like, Gandalf appearances, or Sauron appearances? Or maybe Legolas, or Gimli.
I don't know how old he is, either.
Relatively old, because at least the way the story, like if you watch the Lord of the Rings where they kind of give you like a really quick snippet of him, he's clearly either as old or older than Bilbo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see, but yeah. Maybe he's part of the original adventures.
Of the Hobbit?
Yeah.
No.
Well, like the grandfather one.
Bilbo, right?
Yeah, Bilbo.
No. Bilbo encounters him in the cave.
Damn.
So he, in theory, could be of the same age as Bilbo, and then because he's unrecognizable, they don't know him.
I don't know.
But he is a hobbit that was corrupted by the ring, and then ended up in the caves.
Precious.
But you would think if you ended, whatever. There's a lot of backstory, and maybe we'll get it in this game. But that was one of the first things that came out this weekend.
Woohoo!
The other thing that I had saw, and I put it
on my phone.
Which is a hell of a plug for this right now. If you join the Dace Man and Friends Discord, you'll see what we're going to talk about on Tuesday, because we've been putting it into the Discord channels.
It gets flooded, and then I can't keep up.
That's true.
I'm in too many of the damn channels, apparently.
The sort of the public Discord, we have like a couple tier. We have the one tier, which is just good for Gen Pop, and then we have the subscriber tier, which has a couple new cool things in there where we put like a D&D campaign that runs on a bot. It's interesting. And it will port over your D&D Beyond character sheets. So the characters you played with Cheever that he uploaded, it'll port it over. Anyway, it's definitely not in the Comcast sucks thread.
I don't know, man. That's a good one.
Cobra Kai from the Karate Kid.
Cobra Kai.
They will be getting a video game.
Boo.
And it's coming out this fall.
Sounds horrible.
I thought that was cool. But the other thing that came from DC fandom was, do you know the Batman Arkham series?
Yes.
Well, those guys at Rocksteady have created the next chapter in that universe.
Woohoo!
Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League. So you play as Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang. Deadshot's all of a sudden black, so if you played all the Arkham games, he was white throughout the Arkham series, but he's black for the Suicide Squad one. And he plays King Shark. And the enemies? The Justice League.
They look, the models look almost just like the movie.
Yes. King Shark's the only oddball.
Yeah, because like Harley Quinn looked almost exactly like she did in the Suicide Squad and the Harley Quinn
Birds of Prey,
whatever the hell it was.
The only character that was out of place is King Shark. He wasn't in the Suicide Squad. He's on the Flash TV show. But the weird thing I thought about King Shark is they made him human size. Normally he's like Hulk size. Although the gameplay they showed looked like he was the Incredible Hulk.
There you go.
So it'll be interesting that if the Marvel Avengers game that comes out next week is similar gameplay to the way Suicide Squad is. Because now instead of just being Batman and only Batman, you're playing as all four.
Yeah. I heard from what I was reading, apparently they said that Deadshot, or the guy Will Smith played,
Yeah.
Was a bad impersonation of Captain America. So I don't know what that meant, but I'm assuming he's going to be more righteous or whatever.
Oh, they're criminals.
It's sort of how at least I took it.
Okay, so they're trying to redeem the Deadshot character, even though his comic background is not that.
I'm just saying when I read, I was just like, okay, I didn't really know much about them is the problem, so I was like, okay, I guess, but. And I think it said it was a mix between John Cena, which I don't understand what that means, and
like the way he looks.
Well, I don't know if it's just the way he acts, and then a Captain America. I was like, that is a weird combination, but okay.
If you watch the John Cena wrestling character, he's essentially Captain America.
Again,
just
I don't
not
know these
World
things.
War II villain or World War II soldier.
I just read it, and I'm just spitting it back.
Well,
I have no idea what I'm saying.
The cool thing
That's
is,
just what I read.
This does take place in the Arkham universe, but instead of being in Gotham City this time, you're in Metropolis. Brainiac, it looks to be the overarching villain that has obviously twisted the minds of the Justice League, and you're immediately greeted with Superman just vaporizing somebody in his hands.
I like it.
And Captain Boomerang like really pissed off that he's going to go face him.
So, that's interesting. Are they going to do the same thing they did at Arkham, where there was like, what, 3 expansions? Or I don't even know if they were expansions. They were more like downloadable.
Most likely, because at least at the end of Arkham, Batman has disappeared.
Yeah, because it wasn't like you had a. It took them a while to finish that entire
run.
Run
and 2 studios,
whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I was gonna say it took a. It wasn't a one and done. That was like you get to a certain point and then it just stops at the story and you have to wait for the next one.
Yeah,
it's sort of like Spider-Man did the same thing.
Yeah. So there's going to be a conclusion within the game, but then they'll be like, well, what happened with this character type shit. Mm-hmm. It'll be open world like it is in Arkham, where you can either just stick to the main storyline or branch off to do the smaller stuff. And it won't come out till 2022, I think they said.
Yeah, usually it's probably going to have... It'll probably tie up some stuff, but there'll be at least one question left answered or unanswered, and that's what's going to...
That's your DLC.
Yeah, it's your DLC.
Or your sequel game.
Sequel, where I forget how they did it with Arkham. For some reason, I feel like Arkham, they did that, an expansion, or like a DLC, and then didn't they come out with another one? Like a 2, and then DLC started with that or something?
It started at Asylum, so you just pretty much stayed around the Asylum. Then all of a sudden you were in the city, and then they went backtracked and did Origins, and then they jumped back again.
Yeah, like I also feel like that one was a little screwed up, because I think what it was the original game, then a DLC, and then I think they switched. Who was making it was, I think, the problem is why I think they then went to a different...
Which was Origins. Because Origins went to like a different storyline, but it was still in canon, but they weren't linear. It was like, let's go backtrack.
And then it tied up. Like, it was weird.
But from what it's being said is this Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game is post-Batman games. So in theory, Bruce won't be around. The Joker won't be around, but you could get the Bat Squad with like Robin, Nightwing, Jason,
Bat Squad!
All that bullshit.
Cool.
Other game that's coming out. Drum roll? No drum rolls? Okay, that's fine. I mainly forgot. That's why it was kind
exactly.
Nothing.
Zilch.
There was a DLC pack I wanted to talk about because we played it here a little bit on the Dace Man and Friends stream. Borderlands 3 is getting a new DLC. Psycho Krieg.
Still haven't even finished that game. It's
and
brutal.
The fantastic Fustercluck.
Fustercluck.
And that'll be released next month, which is in like a week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then the big one, which I'm so excited for, releasing September 8th, and I'll probably play before we do our show that night.
About it.
Party Hard 2, baby.
Party Hard.
Now, I know what you're saying. It's only playing on PC. It's already been released. I get that, but it's so much better on the console because that's how we roll out the rest of our Game-a-thon.
That's right.
And it also points out who wasn't here for the Game-a-thon because Eric didn't know what the game was.
Depressing.
He goes, I don't know what's happening, but I'm in. And I'm like, dude, that's the game we use every game-a-thon.
It's because he never makes it. He doesn't make it to like. He makes to like 5 or 6.
The latest he's made it is 9 a.m.
Yeah, like you just come on, like, especially 9 a.m. You couldn't just finish the fucking next 3 hours. I mean, come on, man, grow up.
But I'm super stoked because it's gonna have familiar scenes, new parties, all kinds of stuff. It'll be on the console, and I don't think I've been this excited for a game since Marvel Spider-Man.
Woohoo!
Which it comes out 4 days after I'm going to be playing Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, I played it on the computer. Actually, we played it together at
PAX
when it before it even released.
Yeah, it was in the beta.
Yeah, it was actually I liked it. It's got special power-ups now and stuff. It's a little bit different, but it's
graphics.
Still.
It went from 8-bit to not 8-bit.
I like the 8-bit. I actually like the old one better personally.
Like the little stick figures going like this.
Yeah, and a little knife stabby. Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's yeah. I mean, like I said, I prefer the old school look, but that's just for that type of game.
I'm stoked. I can't wait.
I know.
I'll beat it, and then it'll be game-a-thon time. Like, I beat this once, but I don't remember how.
That's right.
But that's coming out September 8th to the consoles. You can pre-order it now on the Switch and the Xbox, but PS4 apparently is just like, no, you're not pre-ordering. You'll just download it when you get it.
I also think that game's got difficulties.
Oh.
Party Hard 2, I believe, has difficulties.
So different levels?
Well, no, you can change it from easy, medium.
Oh, so if we get stuck in one fucking room for 2 hours, we could eventually be like, take it down to easy and let's get through it.
Yeah, take it down to we're an idiot level, yeah.
Okay. Well, that will wrap up our gaming news. So what I want to do before we head on to...
I have something.
You for gaming?
Sorta.
Go ahead. Is it...
It's painful.
Oh, I have something I wanted to talk to you about real quick. Star Wars Squadrons. It's coming out October 20th.
October 20th. Wait a minute. Is that coming out on the new system?
No, on PS4. It might get ported to PS5 too, but it's coming out on PS4. The thing I wanted to point out is the game is only listed at $39.99. Yes, that is. You can't. If you're listening to this on audio for some reason, his face is as perturbed as my face was because I was like, "That's not."
It's an EA game. No
way. It's an EA game. It's a Star Wars game, and you're not at the $60 price.
The mouse is taking almost all that cash, so I'm a little confused right there.
How short do you think that fucking game is? Or
I don't even
what kind of money grab is going to happen after you buy the goddamn game? I saw that today when I was on GameStop. I was going through my pre-orders because I wanted to make sure I was like kind of up to date. $40.
I mean, are they?
It's the same price. Actually, Crash Bandicoot was more that day. I had to pay $60 for Crash.
I don't even know what to say to that one.
I'm terrified.
Unless they think it's going to be a flop.
I am just terrified.
Yeah.
Because a $40 price mark for at least the gameplay that I've seen, or at least a trailer. Holy shit, that looks amazing. I love that aspect of Battlefront 2.
I don't... I think it's too complex.
The game itself? Or the gameplay?
The game, yeah. The game's way... Like, it's insane. Like, you have to change where your shields are. There's, like, so much power management in the ships. Like, I was looking it up, like... it looks brutal to play. I mean, if you get good at it, I mean, you can probably do really well, but I don't know if there's enough people out there that are going to want to play it, is the problem.
This guy.
Yeah.
But I'm really terrified of the $40 mark, because that's not an EA move.
Yeah, well, again... it
is an EA move, there's a lot of microtransactions involved.
I play a lot of games and stuff, and that game scares me.
But, I mean, still, like, even if the gameplay's awful... Why wouldn't they price? It's a Star Wars title.
It's not like it's awful. My problem is it's not going to be user friendly to people who aren't pretty hardcore gamers.
You think?
Yes. Like, you have to divert power to your shields. You got to divert power to your weapons. You got to divert power to your engines, and all of these things change how you fucking play.
Mm-hmm.
And each class has got
different
specific
variations
things that you can do.
Yeah.
Different power output so you can do more.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally divert all your energy and put it all in the shield so that you don't die. Or you can divert all your energy and put it all into your engine so you can move quicker.
But do you think because of the difficulty they knocked off $20?
my fear is because it's going to probably be so difficult that, like I said, I don't know.
Because Darksiders is super difficult and still holds that $60 point mark.
Yeah, but that's got a good. That's like a long campaign. It's more of a solo thing. This is a multiplayer thing. It doesn't like I don't really know.
I mean, I get that concern. My concern is they're going to microtransaction the hell out of this game. That's why it's so low. They're like, well, we gave it to you for $40. We have to get the $20 back somehow. Like, oh, you got to get it's a season pass or some kind of bullshit. Like, hey, we don't want to release it like we released Apex, but we don't want to charge you like we charged you for Battlefront and get screwed again.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. But my problem is with that is the fact that they got destroyed with Battlefront. I'd be blown away if there's any kind of loot crates in here. I'd be literally blown away. Especially since this will be the first Star Wars... Well, I guess second one.
First multiplayer one, though, since Battlefront.
Since Battlefront. It would be a disaster. I mean, it would literally be a disaster if they put it in. And it's tied to any kind of progression or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe, because technically there's a ton of ships out there that I guess you could put behind paywalls. I'm just...
And they're just... Technically, the game, when you get it, Squadrons is taking place after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
so you're limited with the Rebels and the Empire ships. You don't get any of the Old Republic stuff, or the Republic stuff.
I mean, they
the Resistance.
Put them in at some point, but...
That's where I think the paywall stuff comes into play.
I would just be...
Could be Season Pass stuff.
Yeah, could be. It just seems kind of...
Like, oh my god, Season 5 is the Battle of Hoth.
I mean, they don't do that with any other game, though. Like, they even, like, their football and all that, they'll still put it out full price and then have a Season Pass on top of it.
That's what scared me.
Yeah, so I don't...
Unless it's because it's Star Wars and Disney went, don't fuck this up. And that's why they're discounting it.
I'd be shocked. But my whole thing with that is they have to pay Disney a premium for...
The licenses.
The license. So I don't see how...
They also just gave away a shit ton of free stuff on Battlefront 2 to try to give people back.
Which I think is more mouse-driven than anything else.
Yeah.
But, well, sort of mouse-driven. Because I bet you they probably were...
Getting ready to pull the contract?
Getting ready to pull the contract unless they, fix the shit out of the game. And the only way they could fix it's by giving everything away for free.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it was only $40. That is actually quite scary.
It caught me off guard.
And to me, it would seem like it's an incomplete game at that point, and they know it, and they're putting... It's either one, it's an incomplete game, or two, they basically already think it's going to flop, so they have to put it at a discounted price, hoping people would buy it because it's discounted, and they have a very limited window in order to actually push it out.
Yeah. The only other time I've seen a game price that low is if it was a remaster.
Yeah.
And I don't know what... Unless they're literally taking all the battles out of Battlefront 2.
I've seen non-AAA games priced there.
Oh, yeah.
But this should be considered a AAA game by a AAA manufacturer. So
yeah,
I don't know. That one really scares me.
Food for thought. That comes out October 20th, the same day that Crash Bandicoot 4 comes out.
Damn.
We'll see. I should be in gamer heaven heading into Pandemic Part 2.
Pandemic Part 2.
So what was your gaming news, sir?
Yeah. So
was it Jizzard related?
No.
Jizzard.
So everyone knows we play D&D here.
We do. We're actually building a new campaign for you because we can never finish one.
If you guys, pretty much if you play D&D, you know about Xavier's Guide to Everything.
I thought it was Xander.
Xander, I don't know. It starts with it starts with an X, though? Is that how you spell it?
Xanthar.
Xanthar?
Yeah, we're both wrong.
Whatever.
We don't play enough.
I have the book. I bought the book. But that's basically where you get a lot of the more up-to-date 5e type stuff. Well, they're getting ready to release a new one called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
It's because you bought it.
Exactly. So this one's gonna follow. I guess Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is a game changer for those looking to add a little bit of flavor to their D&D game. During a press release event, lead rules developer Jeremy Crawford and Wizards of the Coast's Greg Tito discussed some cool things they're adding to the latest book. So I'm just gonna read you. It sounds like there's a bunch of stuff that they're adding in, but basically the new features are gonna be character origin customization. So what that's gonna be is like you can say like I'm an elf.
Okay.
But I grew up in a human.
I identify as an orc.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god! So they're making the characters gender fluid?
Well, no. So like you're an elf, but you're raised by orcs. There's like a perfect example.
Okay.
So you're gonna be able to then have some of the elf traits and then some of the orc traits.
Okay. Well, obviously not physical traits if you're an elf, but you might have the personality traits of an orc.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, whatever. I mean, obviously you're gonna try to take whatever ones make the most sense.
Sounds like a terrible time for me to start being a DM. I don't even know the basic shit.
Yeah. There's gonna be a new Artifire Subclass. So that's gonna basically be a subclass would mean is not your main class, but so basically it's gonna be like probably like a feat or something that you can take. Subclasses from other supplemental books. New spells, including new Tasha spells. More artifacts, including ones revolving around Tasha and Baby Yaga. If there was an O in there, it would have been Yoda. I mean, pretty close to Yoda there, but alright, whatever. New sidekicks for smaller parties, including the ability to play as them for stricter focus on role-playing rather than character development and character building. DC tools for magical environments, so that one is kind of what I was reading up on, and much more. So some of the magical environments kind of sounds like
PvE?
Well, it's sort of like adding weather to your game.
Oh, so like when we're doing the Pokemon thing, is it raining and they make the water Pokemon
so
stronger?
they're calling a magical thing, so it would basically benefit more magically type. So like the thing they're saying like is an Eldritch
Blast.
Well, no, it's an Eldritch Storm.
Oh.
Was the one that they were giving, and I guess they're on the ship or whatever, and it basically buffs up this big serpent thingy that fought them.
Oh. Well, yeah. Okay. So very similar to what we did the Pokemon
It's D&D. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's sort of, but it's using more magical effects, more magically type.
More into the actual D&D canon rather than
correct.
We're used to the Pokemon canon.
Yeah.
Water Pokemon is raining. You got strength.
Exactly.
It's a hot day out. The fire Pokemon are doing pretty well.
So it wouldn't surprise me if normal weather is also in it and involved and actually has some kind of effect. It just says magical here, obviously, but I'm sure it might have some things to do. Oh, it's a nice sunny day out. Maybe you can move fucking 10 feet more or something. I don't know.
Wildfires are happening in California. Your flamethrower is super effective.
Exactly. I don't know.
Your hydro cannon doesn't do shit like California burn.
So I'm sure that's going to be priced at like, $120 because fucking D&D.
Oh, for sure. You've spent $100 on the 3 books you bought?
Yeah, I spent $90, yeah.
And then I got the Monster Manual, which was another $30.
That's the only one I'm really missing is the Monster Manual, but I didn't get it because I knew you had it.
And I have a campaign, which was $50.
Oh my god, all the campaigns are fucking stupid expensive.
But then again, at the rate we play, not finishing,
yes,
it'll take us 5 years to get through all 5 chapters.
Well, yes, maybe not. It depends.
Depends on the
because we're gonna have one less person, so maybe that'll speed things up.
I feel like we didn't. The one less person isn't one of the people that drag it out. I mean, granted, you lost me because I'll sit there and talk to an NPC that does absolutely nothing for you for hours. You do the same thing in a way. You try to think of creative ways to spice up the story that are just not really D&D related or D&D norms.
We still have Cheever though. Fuck.
Yeah. So again, we didn't really get rid of one of the
problem ones. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I call them problem ones.
Well,
but ones that would drag out the campaign.
He's not a problem one. So I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like the problem ones, he's not one of the problems.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's me, you, and Cheever. That's what it is.
That's right.
And sometimes Frank. I think when Frank gets better at it, Frank will be a
problem.
Someone who drags it out.
Dan's not. Dan's
by the book and let's keep it moving.
Nope. Dan's by the let me stab first, ask questions later.
Yeah. You've lost all the treasures. because he had the map and you obliterated him.
It's like, what the hell are you doing? You don't just start stabbing.
So before I roll into the DC fandom that happened this past weekend and some other TV news, any update in our weekly segment, Doomcock destroys the Star Wars universe?
I mean, nothing really major came out. Basically, The Mandalorian, I guess, is getting ready to start shooting again. So it was leaked, basically, that wherever they did the Last Jedi, not the Last Jedi, the whatever the last one was,
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Wherever they did that one, they did it on an abandoned military base. So start going to the military bases, guys. The abandoned ones. Apparently, what they're going to do is they're going to set up a bubble there. For all the actors. So they're going to fly everyone in for it. Set it up. Everyone's quarantined immediately out of the gate for 2 weeks. All the vendors, like food, blah, blah, blah. I mean, literally, they're setting up like a mini bubble town. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy. They can't, once you're in there, you can't leave. You're fucking stuck. And they're going to shoot seasons 2 and 3 concurrently, back to back.
In case this thing draws out.
Well, they don't want, I mean, if they're going to, it makes sense. If you're going to do it, and you're going to set up this bubble, you might as well, because they're only, 10 episodes?
Yeah, so and about 30 minutes apiece.
Yeah, so it's like they're just going to do both of them together at the same time.
Which makes sense.
George Lucas is going to be there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's going to be, from what, at least how Doomcock was explaining it, it's going to be more of a consultant type thing. So what they're going to do is they're going to have a boatload, apparently, fucking directors here.
I bet.
And then these directors, he's going to basically be, quote-unquote, training them on the Star Wars way. And then a lot of them, like, they're just coming in. They might do, like, an episode or two. I doubt it. I have no idea what they're going to do for that. But they're basically going to learn, get some tips and tricks. And then these are going to be the directors that are going to be doing all of the other stuff Star Wars related. So basically, like, this is their time to pick his brain, basically. But other than that, well, the only other thing that he said, which is kind of up in the air, and I mean, I kind of don't really agree with it, but basically he's saying that they're kicking out all the if you're woke, you're broke. If you go woke, you're broke. I don't know if you ever heard of that saying, but it's kind of a new thing. Basically, they're saying they're kicking out all that shit, and then the mouse is just going to be focused in on just literally profits. Like they're
gonna make that money, bitch.
Yeah. And they basically said that they're not going to. If anyone talks anything bad to the fans, this is including Marvel, by the way. If you say anything bad about the fans, so like Miss Marvel or whatever the fuck her name is,
Captain Marvel,
if she would have done that now, they literally said they would just fire you. They're not even going to put up with it. You can't attack the fan base. You literally can't say anything. Like, literally going almost like Nazism on it. Like, you literally can't fuck with the fans.
Welcome to my world, bitch!
And it's purely going to be about profit. So it's going to, I think it's going to be quite interesting with the other Star Wars content they have, that with that what's called lady, that, what's her name? Kennedy brought in. That's basically doing that whole woke thing. Yeah. So that one's going to be quite interesting, because if it starts to bomb out, and then, you know, they start saying, like, oh, you misogynist bastards or whatever, it's like, I almost feel like it's a way to get her fired.
Hollywood's moving forward, and the mouse is like, hold your fucking horses!
So it's like,
I need to get paid!
So we'll see what happens here. It seems like it's almost a setup, basically, to get rid of it.
Fucking right it is!
They didn't want that director to begin with. Like, it was kind of like a
favor,
a fuck you hire to, because that's the lady that was worked with. Like, she has a lawsuit against the fucking CEO. Like, I'm fucking blown away on that one. But whatever. That's a disaster.
Point blank, the mouse wants his cheese, and you bitches are getting in the way of my cheese.
Yeah. So it's. I don't know. I think it's odd, because clearly, like you said, it's not the way that
the rest of Hollywood's
going. I mean, it's like, and it's definitely a 180 from what they're already currently producing.
Literally, phase 4 is to appease the We don't have a Asian superhero. We need more women biopics. Like it's a lot experimental in Phase 4. So I guess this is really the testing grounds.
I don't know
to see if the mouse like that's kind of hard to say. I can understand why they're doing it in Star Wars because Star Wars got burnt by it hard.
exactly, but they
Marvel,
lost a shit ton of money on it. Marvel, the only one they really had an issue with, it was obviously Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, they
whatever.
signed her to a 9-movie deal, and then she starts mouthing off.
I was gonna say, and I think to their point, it was really more her mouth than anything else. I don't think the movie was necessarily bad. I just don't think I rated one of the lower ones, obviously, but I just mine was my issues with that. Like we already talked about that. My issues was more on the directing side than.
I feel like some of the
story
dialogue
side.
was bad too.
Yeah.
So if the woman who directed it also wrote it, then I'm with you. Because she just
whatever.
felt awkward.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Brie Larson and other things, and she feels natural in like a comedic type role to give you like one-liners and zingers and shit. A lot of her shit in that movie felt forced. But it'll be interesting. Phase 4 is all experimental for Marvel. This is all brand new characters, not like A-list. Not that Iron Man was an A-list person at the time.
We'll see. We'll see. Again, it's interesting. And like I said, they specifically called out into the Marvel universe as well.
That could just be like
but that's more
the
so.
placebo.
I was just saying that's more so. I think with the fact of just saying don't attack the fans.
It was more like, hey, we're sending you both for a drug test. We know you don't do drugs, Marvel. It's okay. Go!
Yes. Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I actually like the Mandalorian thing because that means we basically guaranteed
third season.
Third season.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious since they're
They're going to start doing that going forward?
shooting 2 of them at the same time. How is that going to work release-wise?
You probably same concept because I don't think we're getting a Star Wars movie anytime soon.
But
So they're not going to impact any kind of universe. Mandalorian is the only thing going right now.
yeah, I know. But I'm just wondering, like, do you
Aside
do
from
it
Productions.
like how the old school way was, where you used to have 2 separate? Normally,
Part A, Part B.
back in the day, holy fucking hell, you know, it would be 26 episodes per season. And then you'd have like the pre-Christmas, so basically up to like usually the beginning.
You're thinking
December.
Walking Dead.
And then they'd have the second half sometimes start up in February. So they're basically like a 2-month downtime.
Mhm.
Like, are they going to do that? And they're just calling them season 1, season 2, season 3?
I think it'll probably rest.
Or are they really going to make you wait an entire fucking year?
Well, I think it'll really rest on what they do with Marvel. If they can keep pumping out like a new series each quarter, yeah, they'll make you wait a year for Mandalorian. Because in their mind, the Star Wars fans are pretty much Marvel fans,
But
and you're not going to lose too many Star Wars fans
I mean,
if you come out with Winter Soldier and Falcon right after the Mandalorian, and then you come out with
Yeah.
WandaVision, and
But
then
you
come
gotta
out with
figure
Loki, and then boom.
if you're doing
Mandalorian
that,
season 3.
then you're saying basically you're not going to start production of season 4 until 2 years.
No, they can still start it.
Why? If you already have the next 2 years already locked up.
How do you know it's going to go to a season 4? Maybe they finished the story.
Maybe, but
Also,
yeah.
in that time frame too, they might actually get traction on Obi-Wan or the Kazian. What the hell? The Andor series, the guy from Rogue One.
Yeah.
So there could be other things they work on.
I mean, I yes, but I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
It's weird because TV doesn't really follow the standard anymore that you have to debut every fall and finish every spring.
Correct.
Look at Rick and Morty; they're in season 4. That show debuted 8 years ago, so it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. To me, it's kind of weird. Like, I like the idea that they're doing it that way. We're guaranteed basically 20 more episodes, I would say.
Yeah. I think it's a precautionary measure. If shit hits the fan again and they can't film other Marvel stuff, they have the Mandalorian in the back pocket.
Well, I'm thinking this is a test, assuming that COVID just never disappears.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know if this will ever,
We go back to normal, quote unquote.
quote unquote, normal. Exactly. So therefore, it's sort of wherever this military base is, they might just purchase it, and then this will just be their studios.
Yeah, because the Mandalorian does do an interesting concept where their world is just a rotating fucking LED screen. And most of the shit, if you're walking, that's what's moving behind you, not you actually walking through a desert.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It could be that, this is basically the new norm.
Yep, 2 months to shoot Mandalorian. All right, Mandalorian's packing up, bring in WandaVision, finish WandaVision.
Yeah, and you bring in WandaVision, 2 weeks prior to that one ending, so if they go through their quarantine period.
Yep.
And then you're basically you're always shooting, basically.
Yep.
You're never not shooting. And then, you don't have, they're obviously going to have a downtime now, because you're going to have 2 weeks where basically nothing's going on because everyone's in quarantine. And then once they exit the quarantine, they still said they were still going to test them every day or something. I have no idea how the hell that's going to happen. But you understand what I'm trying to say? So
yeah.
they're taking a shit ton of precautions, which I get, and it's not a bad idea. It's just I don't understand.
Also,
to me, it's going to be a lot of money if you think about it. Setting this up all in this one,
But you cut down on travel costs. The WWE is a good example of someone who just kept going through the pandemic. They were able to save so much money from not traveling, from not bringing the tour the production buses with them. They just stationed all that bullshit to the point where they test them every day, and they've gotten positive tests, but the show still went on.
So, yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like the severity, I guess.
Well, they're saying the freaking NFL constantly gets false positives on all their tests, because they're testing all of the because a lot of them went back to
training camp, right?
I think all of them are in training camp now, but yeah, they're getting a ton of false positives and shit, and then it forces people into quarantine, and then they retest them, and then they test negative, and then it's just
yeah. At what point do you just go, enough's enough?
Well, my thing is, how are they getting false positives and baseball and stuff is not?
It's all in the hands of the executor.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't how can you get it in this sport, right, where you're testing?
Or hockey doesn't have a goddamn one.
Yeah,
they're bubble leaguing in 2 cities. You can't tell me that if basketball's got people meandering out, prostitution's legal in Canada.
Christ.
Yeah,
fucking basketball, that one's a fucking joke, man. Every day it's somebody fucked up. I'm and then apparently now the NFL is putting a snitch line in.
Wow.
I'm just oh my god.
I mean, if anything points to the sign that the country is fed up with this bullshit, the bike rally in Sturgis, Montana, or wherever the fuck it was.
Yeah, Sturgis,
where they had fucking concerts going on, and now they're doing trace testing, but people don't give a fuck, and it's the heartland is showing us they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know. We're going down in cases, yet we're getting more and more lockdown.
It's crazy.
Fucking get it.
And we've been going down in deaths since the New York spike. New York, New Jersey had a highest spike. They still have the highest deaths, even though these other states are blowing up with cases. We still have the highest deaths.
Well, we're going down. We're in the lowest point since it started in deaths by COVID.
Yes. So
the problem is which I don't understand is we lock down because you have to slow the spread. We did it. Why are we still locked down?
Yeah, because then there's all that irrational fear of, okay, well, we open everything back up and then the spread. But the fact is, Georgia never shut down.
South Dakota never shut down.
They didn't. Georgia gave you 14 days because that was the magic number, and they went, okay, 14 days is up, go back into the world. And they don't even mandate masks.
I mean,
there are certain companies that mandate the masks, but most of Georgia does not mandate them.
I mean, again, I don't...
And we haven't lost that state, as much as we're all hoping.
Same with Florida.
And Texas. There's a lot that could just disappear. We'll be fine with it. But, I mean, it kind of proves a point. I just think ours was so bad because ours happened during winter.
I would agree.
And it was old people. It is the old people who weren't strong enough to move to Florida.
Well, it was that plus, but they were also Homo and stuff were putting the infected back into nursing.
Murphy moved them from North Jersey to South Jersey.
Yeah, they did some really.
They spread it themselves.
They did, yeah. They did some stupid shit. Was the problem? Now, I don't know if that was just because they didn't know what to do. They were the first ones to get it.
Also,
or they were literally just trying to kill people.
There's still a standing invitation, Governor Murphy, if you ever want to come on the show.
Yeah.
Right here. We're not wearing masks, but you can come over right here.
That's right.
Actually, you can come here September 8th, the Tuesday after Labor Day, when you shut everything down and explain to the world why you shut everything down again.
Exactly. Yeah, because like that's, like I said, and then the weird thing is like they build all these hospitals. California put like 20 of them up. New York had the ship come in. We had a bunch of pop-up ones all in Jersey, and it's like they didn't even handle any patients. It was like 20, 30 people at the most that these places handled. Some of them did 0.
Yeah, which is infuriating when you have us on lockdown saying, hey, we're locking you down so we don't overflood the hospitals. By the way, we didn't use any of the stuff we popped up.
Yeah, and it's just like, what the fucking hell is going on right now? So it's...
I still want to know how China doesn't have it anymore. That's some bullshit. There's no way you don't have one. You guys probably just stopped testing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I bet you there's a ton of... Like, because Europe apparently is really bad with it right now. Apparently they're back in a second wave. But you don't see their cases going up. Because they're not reporting it. No shit, Sherlock. But we keep reporting it because, God forbid, you don't do it.
Hey, November 4th, we'll be in the clear.
Exactly. I don't even know what the hell's going to happen.
November 4th, we'll be in the clear. As always, November 3rd, we will be here, election night, covering the madness. One of us will cry.
Well, I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't think either will as well. Because if they do mail-in voting, I mean, we're not going to know who the president is until probably December.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't get sworn until January anyway. So sometime in December. You know what would be great if it was Drunk Day. If we got to announce the results on Drunk Day.
But there's so much.
Oh my God! Can we have a Drunk Day if we get locked down?
There's so. Well, yeah, we can.
Okay.
There's so much. There's actually a lot more issues when you think about this, that there could be major catastrophes happening here. Because I feel like no matter what happens, I'm going to go out on a limb right now, guys. I'm going out on a limb. Whoever loses is going to contest the election.
Oh, easily.
And if they keep contesting it, Nancy Pelosi, you're our president.
It's the House that gets it first?
The Speaker.
Oh, you're right. Oh, that's why I kept yelling Paul Ryan. I was like, God, if they just took out both of them, we would have Paul Ryan.
Granted, she's also up for election this year, but I can't see her losing because she's in a fucking spot where the Democrats
California, do your job.
Win every time. But there is a chance that she could, in theory.
California, do your job. Get her out.
Be at least an interim president until
they decide,
or somebody fucking
concedes.
Yeah.
Well, you know exactly that if one man has to be the guy that concedes, this thing will go until one of them dies.
So I'm not. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you saying, we'll know by the. I'm like, we might not know till like fucking October the following year.
Come close to your screen, California. Let's get intimate right now. Do the right thing. We don't need more Pelosi.
Yeah.
That evil witch. And I like to think that at this point in my life, I'm a Democrat again. Should not have been the House. Like, if you're trying to push new wave and new ideas and why did you choose the oldest fucking thing in the world?
Well, they kicked out. They kicked out one of the Fabulous Four, or whatever it was.
Oh, the 4 horsemen of the youth apocalypse.
Yeah, 3 of them won. 3 of them came back. 1 of them lost, pretty badly, if I remember correctly. But they did get, I think, 2 additional, so maybe now it's a 5. I don't know.
But like,
5-pack?
Why would you not step aside? You know there's a growing movement within your party for new and not old. Why would you not step aside for... I'm not saying AOC. I think that's the extreme side of it.
But that is the new Democrats.
But there's got to be a middle ground.
There is no middle ground.
Because Pelosi is...
I think literally what has to happen here... and
is a shade color from being a Republican.
The problem here is... this is why I don't know who's going to win, and I kind of think Trump's going to win, but we'll see. I think the problem is the Democrats are getting so far to the right that it's getting left. It's getting kind of ridiculous at this point because you have like AOC, you have a bunch of those but that's like,
and she's not even that far left. I wouldn't consider her that far left when you get ideas like
she's the Green New Deal and all that. Like some of her shit was kind of fucking. The problem is she's young. Granted,
going to change the world.
She's going to change the world. She's got that whole
Jenny on the block.
I call it like college mentality, where oh, this is our great idea, blah, blah, blah. But when you start trying to put shit to paper, like the Green New Deal is a perfect fucking example. Like, there's no fucking way that's even humanly possible. Like, it can't be done. Like, it's insanity.
Not with that attitude.
Well, it just can't be done right now. Now, could it be done by the time, like, I think she wanted it by 2026 or something. Could it be done by then? Possibly, if technology is at a point to where it can happen, but, like...
It's there.
To put it into law is fucking mind-blowing.
I still believe that Elon Musk is a robot.
Could be. You never know.
You strip him down, you'll get some great technology out of him.
Exactly.
I think he's a Chronicon. If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But my thinking is there's so many going that way, and then there's so many people, even on the Republican side, that are so far left that there's like... Right, whatever, left, right, I don't give a shit.
Do you not get directions from this man?
That there's everyone in the middle is in like a fucking limbo.
And it's crazy because I feel like each side is pushing the other side further. Like,
Correct.
Oh, you're so God, I'm gonna make sure I can prove that spaghetti's God.
Correct. So I feel like there's a lot of people that are sort of in the middle that really struggle to actually identify with either party.
I feel like that's most of America.
It's like I'm definitely part of that. I would say a lot of my ideas and stuff do lean more Democratic, but
morally,
but like I can't fucking
economically.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's certain things like, and it's just I almost feel like there needs to be a third party at some point.
I live a lifestyle of you do you, as long as what you doing it doesn't affect me doing. The moment you affect me doing, then we need to talk about laws.
Correct. So like that's sort of what. Like, I'm almost wondering if the third party eventually is going to have to, like, prop up. The problem is like, a lot of the central people usually have always historically gone more Democratic. I don't know why, but I think a lot of them are starting to, like, fall off of it. That's why I'm really wondering if Biden can actually... Because they're also pissing off a lot of people in the center.
Both sides are, though. Yeah, did you watch any of the Republican National Convention last night?
I did not, no.
Okay, so neither did most of the country. I really want to see Trump's take on the ratings, because the ratings were lower than the DNC.
Nice.
And that's the type of thing that he likes to fucking tout.
Yay!
Like, this is by getting canceled.
Canceled!
We cancel the RNC. But...
I did hear, though, they actually talked about politics. Well, not politics. They talked about what he wanted to do, what is, like...
yes.
Whereas the Democrats were like, I'm not Trump. Vote for me.
Well, no. I mean, Warren had a speech that kind of showed what the public education plan was under Biden. Bits and pieces. The Democrats, of course, obviously pushed the whole doom and gloom scenario if he's reelected. The Republicans, on the other hand, they pushed the fuck you mean the country's on fire? We're doing great!
We're doing great.
Donald Trump Jr. came off as a super douche.
Dude, wow.
I mean, if you use air quotes in the middle of your speech, come on, man.
I like it.
Super douche. And then there was another chick that there's a lot of pictures floating around, and it's in our Discord. Gonna plug that again. Of Rita Repulsa, because she poses like this, and then the beginning of Power Rangers is like, oh, after 10,000 years, I'm free. So there was a correlation there. Yeah. But I did. So I'll admit, I go with CNN when it comes to news, because there was a study done a couple years ago which was factually better. None of them got over 50%, but CNN had like 42 compared to like the others that were like high 30s. They had a fact checker guy go through it, and apparently most of the shit they said last night were lies.
That's mostly politics. That one doesn't really.
But like,
the problem is
disturbing lies. Like, the wall is great. We've built so much wall, and then they go and went, you built 5 new miles of wall.
Yeah, but if you look at, did you watch John Oliver? Like, he showed you what some of it was. Like, it was.
It was like a
spike
gate
barricade, which they put an actual wall there instead of this like spike barricade thing. To me, that is. Like, that spike barricade is not a fucking wall in my mind.
No, you're right. It's
so it's like it's a little fucking what's called, but
they're also building the border in mountains that people probably won't traverse.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you, if they
if you saw them coming down the mountain, you could get them when they get to the bottom. Like, yep, here comes Jose. I'll grab him.
If you wall off everything else other than the mountain, they will clearly go through the mountain. Like, that's not
you put a station at the bottom of the mountain. And go, hey. Anyway.
Well, I don't know if anyway,
neither here nor there. A lot of
Yeah.
it was touting his successes,
feelings.
and a lot of them had also kept saying the point of, and it was like a line that was repeated multiple times throughout the convention. Pre-COVID pandemic. Pre-COVID pandemic. Everything they were
Right.
saying, because they did not want to talk about the COVID pandemic itself.
Yeah, which, I mean, that is the thing that drives me nuts, is because, like, I don't blame Trump for the pandemic.
I don't blame him for it. I don't think he's had a great response to it.
Well, he had
He shouldn't have been able to talk.
an interesting response to it. Now, whether or not you agree with his response, is
Pushing
different.
drugs that could harm you and telling you it's
Well,
the
no.
China virus and
Well,
like
he pretty much. Well, no, his whole mentality with this entire thing is let the states handle it.
yes.
Which,
But there's a federal fund for this type of thing. And he
well,
wouldn't release it.
What do you mean release it?
There's a federal funding set aside for pandemic measures, and he refused
FEMA.
to tap into it for this.
Well, no, he used released all the ventilators and stuff. Now, money wise, he's having. Yeah, well, I mean,
He's hoarding the money, and
There's some
then you're
mixed
hearing
feelings
how
on
much
that
he's
one, but
spending
yeah.
on the wall. Like, it's priorities are mixed for him, obviously.
Yeah, but he's not. Well, the walls is a completely different. Yeah, I mean that's a campaign promise. So I mean, I kind of understand that one.
Common logic.
Well, he's one of the only.
You
one
go sell that
actually-
to the guy on the ventilator, or needed a ventilator in Kentucky. Because,
Well, he released-
you know what? Just know.
He released all the ventilators that we had in stock. All of them were broken. Now that was not his fault that they were all
no.
like that.
I wouldn't fault him for that.
Yeah.
But you have money to go get new ones, and you didn't use it.
Well, no, he tried, but the problem was you couldn't get anything. We couldn't even get fucking masks because China was which is the whole fucking mind blowing thing. China wasn't allowing it to be shipped out of China.
Well,
Because
why
it's
would you?
all
Want to
built-
protect your
Exactly, they want to protect their stuff, and then that's when they said, well, you should have dictated the mandate where he should have forced American companies to make stuff. But then he did, and then people are upset because now the prices of everything skyrockets. But that's because it's more. It's proven it's more expensive to make it
He
here. That's
forced
why
them
everything's
and then
off
put
shit.
the burden on the state when you have federal
No,
funding.
No, he forced several of the companies to start making them.
Yes, but
But-
then he didn't pay for it. He said, "You pay for it, Jersey."
Yeah. Well, he paid them to make them, but yeah, I guess the states would still have to pay for the actual ventilators.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sitting on that nest egg. You tell the guy in Kentucky, be like, "Hey, you could have had a ventilator, but I used that money for 4 bricks in my wall.
4 bricks.
I'll put your name on it."
Yeah, I'll put your name on. That's right. I like it. That's exactly what we need to do.
So I guess we're not getting to the DC fandom today.
we should get a brick. This is Dace.
I seen that. I watched the John Oliver thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he got arrested for it. Dude, the fact that he made a joke about we're on his private yacht out here in the fucking sea.
Paid
It's
by
like,
yacht.
God. Wow.
And that's another one that drives me nuts. Is they're blaming Donald Trump as well, but Trump had absolutely nothing to do with
No,
it.
I don't. I think the
Yeah.
problem with Trump is he gets tied into things because I feel
Well,
somebody
stupid
goes,
sign
"Hey,
went there was a
Well, yeah,
I get how come the media is making it and how the media is spinning it to
Yeah.
say, oh, it's Trump's fault, but it was literally people donated to a fucking GoFundMe
GoFundMe,
or whatever.
essentially,
Yeah,
for a wall.
like it was nothing
But-
to do with Trump.
It's so many times they're like, "Hey, Mr. President, how do you feel about that GoFundMe for the wall?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it. It's a great idea." And then you find out it was a scam, and it's
Yeah.
like, he loved the idea.
Yeah, but like he likes the
just
idea
stepping
because
through the
that
shit.
was his fucking
Yeah.
thing. Like you can clearly see how he got there, and you can clearly see how the media is spinning. I mean, I get it, but it's just like.
His problem is, and I think what most presidents had in the past is, he doesn't vet what comes at him. He just goes, "You said something to me, and I'm going to react."
Will exactly. He
I'm
does
not
that,
going to
yeah.
sit there and think, "Will this hurt me down the line? Does this even make sense?"
Which
but
is
I'm
like
going to react.
Biden and them are perfect at that because they will skirt the question the entire time.
Like, oh.
So what are your feelings on the education system? Well, I
Well,
think we got a good education system here,
Where are you going for dinner
but
tonight?
I really want you guys to know that I love the American people. It's like, what the fuck?
And then
That's not the question.
he ends it with, "I'll get back to you next Wednesday after my advisors look into it."
Yeah,
which all of in our lifetime, that's all politicians do is they don't directly answer your
They
question.
don't answer anything. But Trump, like, oh, he's a great person. It's I really like that guy. And he does business answers. You don't burn any bridges is basically what he does. So you always say good things about him, and then
he shoots from the hip, but unfortunately he's a blind man. So that's what's against him. I really think if he just actually used some of his logic, he would have been better off.
That, and he needs somebody needs to take his fucking phone off of him, and he should not have Twitter. Like, that just needs to go, man. You gotta stop it.
Because he'll retweet shit without, again, it's talking from the hip.
Or you gotta fucking give him fucking somebody that manages that account. Like, he should not have any access to that fucking account. I have to
be honest, I am thoroughly surprised we have not seen a retweet from Pornhub of, like, working class mom gets a job earning some money. And him going, this is a great example of my America and moms being put to work. And it's a porn video of her getting railed.
Well, yeah, you seen the OnlyFans thing that somebody posted. Where was that?
Oh, the Bella Thorne thing? Yeah. Okay, that's a different topic. I have an OnlyFans. But let's wrap up the show. DC fandom. I'll drop a daily download tomorrow and talk about that to get some YouTube traction going. But Gibby, what do you got to plug?
Oh, God. Please email me at dacemantshow@gmail.com. Eventually, we will start D&D again.
Build characters.
Yeah, we got to build characters, and then we can probably start it. I mean, I don't know. We could maybe... I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. I'm not sure when we can do it.
We got to get the players in the room, or at least the players in a chat, and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that hard. It just depends upon whether or not we all want to be in the same room and do it, or do we want to just...
Zoom.
Or, I mean, really the only thing we have to do is roll.
Yep.
So, I mean, technically you could roll for us and then tell us what our numbers are, and then we can place things. And then actually build the character sheet out, because the rest of it's just us coming up with backstories and choosing things. And then I guess we also have to figure out what level we're starting out at. But anyway, I digress. We also have Twitch, even though I haven't Twitched in a while, because, well, I play Rust, and I just go and gamble.
Yeah,
so I'm watching a wheel spin, and it's really not impressive, because I'm literally bored out of my mind.
And he's playing it. He's willingly doing it. Like he said, we've got the Twitch account, so keep your eyes peeled. I know I say this every week that I'm going to get back into it, but now that I've actually figured out some of the shit behind it, I want to. Yeah. The big thing is we have our Discord up and running. I know it's been a sub perk for a while, so if you're a sub and you want in on the Discord, feel free to reach out to us. I feel like we've got everybody in there as it is that is sub to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's just me,
Alan,
Eric, and
me.
King of the North usually subs every once in a while. I don't know if he still sub, but he does sub every once in a while. No.
We'll talk about that off air.
All right.
Anyway, if you do sub now, we have the Discord below. Even if you don't sub, I urge you to join it, because there's a lot of Gen Pop conversations in there that'll help us make this better and hopefully make you want to sub.
That's right.
We're going to push more Twitch content. I want to get back on the YouTube train. There's a couple ideas. I want to bring back the daily download, like I just said. Cover some stuff that we can't get to on the show here. We had the whole DC fandom event. I know that's not his strong suit, so maybe I could just give you some of the headlines and just push it out to you in a quick video tomorrow.
Right.
But we want to bring you more content. Feeling motivated. I know I say that a lot. But I feel like we got a good core of people now. We get some stuff done.
That's right.
Jersey Bullies, they have been back and in action. Now that sports are rocking and rolling, Eric and Tyler drop an episode almost every Wednesday. So as we're doing the show live, they're recording a episode for me to edit tomorrow morning and get to you Wednesday around noonish. We'll probably bring back some Potter Nerds. We haven't finished our Star Wars conversations, which is going to be like 12 episodes, if not more, in itself.
If we can ever get to it, yeah.
And then there's various other hosts. The most latest podcast was Marvel Phase 4 Speculation with Jared Games. That does Wednesdays 8 p.m. Eastern here on, or 7 p.m. Eastern here on Dace Man and Friends. Maybe I'll update the Dace Man show tomorrow.
Maybe.
But again, Discord, I'm going to push because the Discord's going to have everything on it. I've deleted my Facebook, deleted my Instagram, so therefore I don't update those as much. We're live on Facebook right now, so I'm hoping that worked well. He'll have to validate after we get off air to see if it worked or not, because somehow he has a Facebook and I don't.
I only use Messenger. I didn't realize I could get rid of Facebook and still keep Messenger.
Okay, so I'm going to have to find somebody else in the group that has Facebook.
Yeah.
And just validate that this did air. If it did air on Facebook and it worked and we see that there were comments there, I'll add them back to our streams. I didn't want to clod it with a fucking square that said no connection or whatever.
Woo!
But other than that, keep tuning in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're guaranteed to be here, at least the combo of this two.
That's right.
Hopefully a third one day.
One day.
We get past this pandemic, or at least she says, fuck it, and burns the system to the ground.
Burn!
So I guess it goes without saying, for the few.
Why don't we have the sound?
We haven't had sound for weeks.
God damn it! The whales.
For the proud.
And my chickens.
And for the Dace-tacular. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time. Jeriac Games here tomorrow on the stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll hopefully be back Thursday with some streaming.
Woohoo!
Or after Jared on tomorrow. So catch you around on the flip side.